welcome to my YouTube channel, Mexicanas en el Mundo. I'm Alexandra, Mexican living in Switzerland. And today I want to share a recipe with you guys that is very special for my husband and me because we created it. Yep, you heard right. And how do we know we created it? Well, we researched for many weeks on the internet. We kept poking around in blogs on YouTube. Google was probably tired of us from all the typing we kept putting in, like breads made with, I'm not sure what the word in English would be, but in Spanish, it's a process that it's done to the corn in order to make a tortilla. It's called nixtamalizado. So it's a special type of flour. It's not your regular corn flour. So we would put breads made with tortilla flour and nothing would pop out. So this kind of got us thinking, you could really see all the bubbles popping out of our head with these thoughts of, ooh, let's make a bread that tastes like a tortilla. So really, we researched, there's nothing out there that we're aware of, but we really did do our research. And here's a little story. My husband, he's Swiss and I'm Mexican. So Mexicans, we eat tortillas. It's in our blood. If you draw blood from us, little tortillas are gonna come out of our blood. And Swiss and other Europeans, they eat bread. Tortillas isn't in their food group. It's not something that they know a lot or that they eat with their food. You can get in the supermarkets these big yellow tortillas of different brands. Here in Switzerland, I've seen one that's called panchovilla. It looks like a tortilla in the shape, but it's yellow and it's sweet. It's like sugar. So for a Mexican, that's almost offensive. It's like, no, that's not a tortilla. That's not what it's supposed to taste like. So my husband and I, we had to compromise on something like, okay, you want bread? I want tortilla. Let's do a combo. Let's kind of mush it all in and get something that we both like. And we started messing around with ingredients and we ended up inventing the tortipan. Yep. That's exactly how it's called, tortipan. Tortilla and pan means bread. So if you smell it, it smells just like a tortilla. It's really awesome. It's incredible because you can tell someone close your eyes and take a sniff and it's going to be like you're smelling a batch of fresh made tortillas. It's really something that it's heartwarming too. To a Mexican and a European or someone who doesn't like tortillas is going to taste it and they're going to like it as well because it's a bread. So let's show you guys how to make the recipe. Let's start. It's very easy and it's really yummy. Okay, so the ingredients to make our top secret tortipan. Oh yeah, we're making a video, right? It's not top secret. Are 1 3/4 cup of warm water, 7 grams of yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1.5 cups of tortilla flour, which is nixtamalizado corn flour. It has to say the word nixtamalizado on the package. That's the process. If it doesn't say that, it's just regular corn flour, and that's not the one we're using for this recipe. It has to be tortilla flour, nixtamalizado flour. 50 grams of butter, 3.5 cups of normal flour. In this case, the flour we use when we bake breads at home, it's either whole wheat or we get the half and half, which is white with whole wheat. And we are going to be using the half and half. If you guys don't have that kind of flour at home, you can use whichever one you want. It can be plain white, it can be half and half, or it can be whole. That's up to you guys. I'm just giving you the recipe how we made it. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Those are all the ingredients. And remember, it's top secret. Okay, so the first step is to activate our yeast. It's like with any breads. If you guys haven't made bread before, then here you can see how to activate yeast. You're going to add your warm water, you're going to add the yeast, and you're going to add the sugar into this bowl. You sprinkle the sugar over the top. If it doesn't all kind of sink in, you can give it a quick swirl around with a spoon or something just to mix everything in the warm water. And then you're gonna let it rest for 30 to 40 minutes so that it activates. How do you know if the yeast activated? It's really easy and it's very obvious. The yeast, once it's activated, it foams up. So if you see that the stuff in your plate has foamed up, that the yeast has foamed up, then it's perfect. It's ready to use. If it still looks just like moldy water or something, like no foam at all, then you have to throw that out and start over again. But it's really easy and it's really obvious. You just have to see foam and then you know, okay, it worked. so here's the yeast. As you can see, it blew up nicely, it activated. So if your yeast looks like this, it means it worked and it's ready to be used to make your bread. So the next step is we put all our ingredients in a bowl. I'm going to use my KitchenAid. If you guys have an industrial mixer, any brand, it doesn't matter, use it. It makes your job much easier. It makes cooking much nicer. I've already showed you guys recipes where you do things by hand, so it can be done by hand also. But to be honest, it's nicer to cook when it's easier, when you don't have to really be busting your arms and working out like a lot. So if you have them, use them. It makes it easier. So put all your ingredients in the bowl, and you're going to use the hook attachment, which is the one you use for breads. This is special for breads. The other one, the one that looks like a globe, that one's for cakes, but this one's for bread, so this is the one you have to use. And you're going to put it in to knead in the KitchenAid for about 5 to 7 minutes. And if you don't have an industrial mixer, then you can do it by hand, but that'll take longer. So I suggest about 15 minutes or until it feels nice and smooth. And then after that, what you're going to do is you leave it in the bowl and you cover it with a wet towel. And you just let it rest on your counter for about an hour or until it doubles in size. Okay, so you can see the dough is risen. It's nice and like fluffy. So the next thing we have to do is punch the air out. And once we punch it out, we knead it a bit. And we're going to divide our dough into between 10 to 12 pieces. It depends on the size of little rolls you make. So approximately you can make about 10 to 12 pieces. And once you make them, it doesn't really matter the shape you pick. It can be little round breads, it can be little baguettes. I mean, I like to use them like sandwich rolls. So the shape doesn't really matter. You guys can do whatever shape you want to give it. And once we have all our rolls set on the counter, we're gonna let them rest from 30 to 40 minutes. And then after that, we're gonna put them in our oven. Okay, so our breads are done resting and they're needing some action. The next step is we're going to do a very slight cut on them. It can be lengthwise, it can be diagonal, it can be 3 cuts. It's up to you guys, however you want your bread to look. Meanwhile, we're going to preheat our oven at 210 degrees Celsius or 410 Fahrenheit. And once we're done doing the cuts on the bread, we can place them in the oven to bake for 25 minutes. We're also going to put in our oven an oven-proof little mold, can be glass or whatever you have that it's oven-proof. with water. This is going to create steam, which will make your breads turn out more like crusty, nicer color. It just helps a lot. It makes a big difference when you're baking bread. So don't forget to put your little mold with water while you're baking your breads. Okay, so our tortipan is ready. Honestly, if you smell it, you swear you're smelling a tortilla. You have to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and it's like, this is a tortilla. It can't be a bread. That's how much it smells like a tortilla. It's scary. But the thing is, it's delicious. It smells really nice. It tastes really nice. And honestly, it was a really nice thing for me because it's another option of something you can do with your tortilla flour. You can obviously make tortillas, you can make gorditas, you can make even drinks, you can make so many things with tortilla flour, but we never considered using it to make bread. So it's quite a clever thing, it's a clever recipe, and I think it's worth sharing. So let's help make this recipe viral. It's worth it. You can show other people that they can enjoy the flavor of tortilla, but with the texture of bread, because many people maybe don't like tortillas. I mean, you don't have to love all types of food, but this is another way to maybe enjoy the taste with the texture of bread. And I don't know, I think it's worth sharing. I like it a lot. Many people like it a lot. My husband has taken these to work and they loved it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. If you make it, please comment and tell us what you think about it. And well, as you can see, these are quite small. I made them small on purpose because we're going to watch a movie right now. We're going to snack on them. I'm going to put some refried beans and cheese on mine, like to put it back in the grill, let the cheese melt, get it all gooey and yummy. My husband says he's going to put some jamon serrano in his and some veggies. My kids, I have no idea what they're going to stuff in theirs, but it can also be tuna. I mean, your imagination is the limit. If you're a vegetarian, then just put some cucumber, tomato, whatever you like putting in your little sandwiches. This is more like a tea sandwich, canapé, something small. You can make it as big as you want. It's just when you cut your portions, you just make bigger ones. It's the same process. It's a very rustic bread. It's not a perfect looking round like you would get if you make wheat breads, but the flavor is amazing. It really is shocking how it smells like a tortilla and the flavor it has. So if you guys would help get this around the world, share it with your friends, with your family, so they can see how amazing tortipan is and how you can use your corn flour to make so many things. That would be really great. Thank you for watching the video and see you next time. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please watch the other videos. Just click on the links and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.